Hello everybody, my name is Matt, and despite the fact that I am in the middle of moving, and my life is upside down right now, I still managed to find time to make one of these silly little videos this weekend. Something else I'm managing to find time for this weekend is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Happy release weekend to everyone out there who is enjoying these games. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to it. As always, if you are unfamiliar with what a stock speedrun is, you can check this video's description for an explanation and a disclaimer. As to its content, I got stuff to do. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, Lockheed Martin, this should be a good one. Okay, so, well, there's a war going on. So, that's bad as far as, people are concerned, but Lockheed Martin obviously enjoys stuff like that, and I kind of wonder why. So again, the way that this spinner works here is that it takes a look at what the most popular stocks are. It's still randomly weighted to where it gives me a random stock, but it is heavily weighted towards stocks that have been popular discussion topics in social media the past, I forget if it's the past week or just the past day. It might just be the past day, but what this means is that it probably hit on Lockheed Martin because it's been a very big topic of discussion recently, and I kind of wonder why. I mean, it's kind of always a topic of discussion. Lockheed Martin is a perennial corporation that is known to do well because the United States likes wars for some reason. And yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here. 3 defense ETFs to trade North Korean uncertainty. What's going on in North Korea that I am not aware of? As Trump would say, has the little rocket man done something that has angered the rest of the world recently? The U.S. government's military spending, uncertainty over North Korea and the U.S. government's military spending. So, yeah, this makes sense. That's why Lockheed Martin basically can't lose, is because U.S. government does love its military spending, and you can say, oh, it's those dang Republicans and their warmongering and their war spending. No, Democrats like war spending too. They both like it. Don't even lie about that. So that's kind of why Lockheed Martin basically can't lose, because they are in deep with that. In addition to the other corporations listed here, I couldn't help but notice Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, Boeing to a little bit of a lesser extent, Raytheon definitely, and Honeywell is actually a new one that I was not familiar being in this space, but I guess it makes sense since they are kind of a machining corporation. Anyway, so what's been going on in North Korea recently? Continuing period of U.S.-North Korea geopolitical uncertainty. Adding one of these 3 exchange-traded funds. Actually, they are shilling ETFs here. Aerospace and defense. Aerospace and defense. I'm not sure what the difference in between these are. S&P, aerospace and defense. Dow Jones, U.S. Select, aerospace and defense, which I would assume is a good amount of overlap here. I'm not really too sure if it really matters which one you buy. And then the Invesco, aerospace and defense. Again, I don't know which one really matters. However, if you were just to go based off these numbers, despite the fact that they're all down, the iShares one is down the least. So just based on these numbers here, you can say that one has the better track record, but I honestly don't really know. Are they going to call out actual individual stocks here, or am I just reading this for no reason? Okay, I guess I'm reading this for no reason. I mean that still applies to Lockheed Martin, so that's still good to know. So they won a deal to aid PAC-3 missiles programs. I have no idea what that is, but it's always good when a company wins a contract or a deal. Up 6% since last earnings. Actually, when is their next earnings? Not until January. Okay, so you probably won't see if they manage to beat it, probably won't see a bump until then. And I can't imagine they won't beat it. Again, when you're tied to the government, it's literally free money. You almost can't lose. Although I am surprised by this slight... Well, actually, no, because the revenue still went up from 2020 to 2021, but I'm surprised by that slight little earnings drop. I kind of wonder what that's about. Let me take a look at the quarterly real quick. Quarter 4, quarter 1, a little bit of a weird dip here. But, still a fairly decent business. Also, something else I couldn't notice is that they pay a dividend, fairly hefty dividend too. So that's always nice. It's always nice when something pays a dividend, because even if you make a wrong call on it, and you end up, you know, if you're like me and you and you are extremely stubborn and refuse to sell things for losses, then what the dividend gives you is that if you want to sit on it for months, years, whatever, at least you're making money off of that. So that's always a nice little contingency. If making money off the stock price itself doesn't really work out for you, so that's pretty nice. Let's see. So I know that they are aerospace and defense. I know they do security, aerospace company, engages in research, design, development, manufacturing, integration, sustainment, products and services worldwide. 4 segments: aeronautics, missiles and fire control, rotary emission systems, and space. Aeronautics segments offers blah 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 blah. They do war stuff. They kill people. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Chart is I don't really have any comments about the chart. I kind of do want to know what happened on November 10th, because I see an unexplained drop-off here, and I want to know what happened. See if I can go to November 10th. How many days ago was that? Today's the 19th. That was 9 days ago? Oh my, I can go on forever about this Twitter blue and the fun people are having. I mean, like, I enjoy free speech and all, and I like what Elon is trying to do if he is in fact being forthcoming about it. But holy shit, is the trolling funny? Oh my god. Anyway, trailing the market, but its shares aren't. Stocks on the rise. 12 best to buy. It only seems that it was this article that was published November 11th. I'm just going to go ahead and phrase everything in form of a question. Was it November 11th? Yes, it was. This is trailing the market, but its shares aren't. Is it really just this article? No. What else could have happened that day? I mean, this article brings up a very good point. That is a fairly high PE. And actually, you know what I want to do? I want to go... Well, let me just take a look at the chart a little more. Kind of gone nowhere. Although, it kind of makes sense. Actually, I'm surprised it's gone kind of nowhere since February, because February is when the Ukraine war kicked off, and you would think they would make the price of this rocket, but I guess it doesn't matter if the United States isn't doing anything about it. If the United States isn't going to war. Which, I mean, I'm not arguing that it should. That, war is bad, everybody. Hoo-ha, good God, y'all. But, I would have expected... Well, yeah, if the U.S. was going to war, I would have expected this to go up. Since it's probably not, at least I hope it's not, then it kind of makes sense for this to just flounder a bit in uncertainty. So, you know what? This chart actually isn't all that surprising. Question is, where's it going to go from here? And that's also a good question, one that I don't know if I know the answer to. However, something happened in October to make it rocket. I kind of wonder if that was the last earnings report. Let's see if I can go back to a month ago. Come on. Lockheed blasts off after earnings. Okay, so I'm guessing that's what was going on here. Tuesday on the heels of Q3 earnings beat an aggressive share. Ooh, they got a share buyback program. Want to learn more about that. I always like buyback programs. I want to learn more about that. Shareholders loved its buyback program. Loved. You use the word loved as in past tense. Has that happened already? Or is that going to happen? I mean, well, so if it's going to happen, the expectation is probably already priced in. But if it has happened, it may have... Those expectations might have gone away to... Get out of here. Earned in better than expected. Did almost nothing for the stock, but investors love to hear the idea of a stock buyback program. Report adjusted earnings of $6.87 a share. Looking... Love the idea of a big... So they didn't... Did they just muse around the idea? I don't see any kind of official announcement. I might have to get into that in stage 2 that I want to learn more about. And I also want to learn about their history of stock buybacks. I kind of wonder why investors loved the idea so much, because this seems like a company that would do it often. It just has that feeling about it. I can't really explain it. But maybe not. Maybe it's unusual for them. I kind of want to know more about that also. What else did I want to learn? I wanted to learn about the PE. Yeah, that is kind of high. But with a company this high profile, you can argue it's warranted. Let's see. 45 book value. That's a lot of debt. That's a surprising amount of debt. But, I mean, hey, it apparently hasn't hurt them much. I don't know how long they've been holding that, but it apparently hasn't held them back. And actually, you know, something else to muse about this debt is that I highly doubt a company like this can ever go bankrupt, can ever go out of business, because it is so tied in with government work. If this, by some miracle, I'm not saying it will, but if it ever does go bankrupt or go out of business, there is no way in hell it's not being bailed out, because it's just so tied in. The government literally needs this company to function. It's ridiculous. Anyway, okay, I'm not really seeing much of interest here. I just want to take a look at conversations real quick. Buybacks for the next few months will be circa 10% of the daily traded volume. Yes, I want to learn more about that. So I want to learn more about Lockheed Martin buybacks. Buyback. Stock buybacks. Actually, yes. Is this their history of buybacks also? Historical stock buybacks. Okay, so... Am I really reading this right? This seems like a lot. Oh, these aren't the number... These are not the number of shares, I assume. This is the amount of money they're spending on the buyback. I see. So if I was to go here and I was to look at... Well, maybe one of these articles will tell me. Announces multi-year $14 billion buyback. That says 14 billion. This says one... Oh, this is from September. I guess that one just happened, but this one hasn't happened yet. However, this one, so I can kind of see why people are excited about this one, because this one seems to be, especially over 4 years, this one seems to be far more. Well, maybe not, because like what's the last 4 years here? That's roughly this. There, exactly 4 years. September 30th, 2022 to September 30th, 2018. That's 4 years, right? Or do I have my math wrong? 2020 is 2022. 2021, 2020, no, I guess we'll be only back to 2019, right? I can't do math. Math is hard. Yes. Right? No. Yes, I think, you know what, it doesn't matter. If I add up all these numbers, and I'm not going to because I'm lazy and I don't have time, but I highly doubt they all add up to 14 billion. So if they are going to do 14 billion over the next where did it say 4 years? It said 4 years here somewhere. Where did I see 4 years? I could have sworn it said 4 years somewhere. Okay, maybe it's not 4 years. Maybe it's just 14 billion immediately, which is even better. It says multi-year. Where did I see 4? I don't know why I got the idea of 4 in my head. I think I saw that somewhere, but I don't remember where. But anyway, still, even if it is over 4 years, or even less, 14 billion is still a lot more of a buyback than they did last year. And actually, what is their market cap right now? Because this guy is claiming that's 10% of the daily traded volume. Market cap is... That's actually... That's not just 10% of the daily traded volume. That is over 10% of the entire market cap right now, which is a lot. Because, right, 10% of 124 will be 12.4, right? And they want to do 14, which is more than 10. Very, very impressive. And actually, you know, one more thing. What, I got 30 seconds. What else do I want to look at? And I see, question is that buyback is priced in at this point. So will that news do anything for the stock going forward? That's the decision I got to make here, and I honestly don't know. I'm kind of leaning toward a hold, honestly. Because I don't know where this can go. Well, it's probably going to go up in the future. But I could have said that in February, and I would be wrong all the way through October. This is a tough choice, actually, because I'm tied between a hold and buy. Because I don't really have any good arguments for buy. Aside from the fact that, you know, the chart is a good representation of the idea that stocks go up, you know, past year notwithstanding. The argument for a hold is that, yes, it's gone through a lot of good news recently, but I would argue that a lot of that news, or rather, you had already seen price action in response to that news, and you are unlikely to see further unless they come out with more good news, in which case that would be just gambling on a buy and not really based on anything fundamental that I can see here. But based on the fact that it is Lockheed Martin, and if you don't feel morally bankrupt in buying shares of a company that basically kills people, then I think I am more than happy to give Lockheed Martin my blessing of a buy. Very interesting internet rating here, though. Rating of 1. Again, this is a scale between -100 and 100. So the internet at large leaning a lot more towards neutral than I was, or maybe as much neutral as I was, because again, I was tied between buy and hold. So they are positive, but just by the ever so slightest margin. Very interesting there, but I think I'm still comfortable with that buy rating. They could probably continue to do good things in the future. If you were to buy it today, you might need to wait a little bit to see the stock price have any more large jumps in the future. But again, there's that dividend you can sit on. That's something nice. I don't think it's going to go down. That's something I don't think it's going to, because again, it's Lockheed Martin. It basically can't. The government would never allow it. And yeah, I think that's all my thoughts on the matter. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.